Mario Maker 2 released their final update of the game around summertime of this year, and lots of people have kind of stopped talking about Mario Maker since then. There's been no updates and no talk about anything in the future for Mario Maker 3. But with that said, I don't think Nintendo is done with Mario Maker whatsoever. Nintendo sees how popular this game is, and it receives some of the most attention with views on YouTube and even Twitch streams, and lots of people think Mario Maker is one of the most unique and fun games out there. And lots of the themes have already been covered, and yes, there's still a couple more Nintendo could do for a 2D Mario Maker theme, but lots of people have already covered that on YouTube. And one thing lots of people are trying to kind of stay away from is the 3D aspect of a Mario Maker game. And mostly because people think it's going to be an extremely hard thing to do for Nintendo. Well, today we're going to be talking about how Nintendo could actually make a realistic 3D Mario Maker game without being completely insane and it being too hard to be done. Now, first off, I'm not talking about automatically building a giant 3D world within an unlimited space. You will obviously have a region to build this world in. It won't be too huge, and it probably won't be that expansive. Well, it kind of depends on the game that you pick, and I'll explain later on. The first game I'm talking about is maybe like a Mario 64, where you have a very small confined space, but you can make a whole bunch of obstacles and crazy things going on in order to reach a specific star. The star can be placed anywhere within the overworld, and it's your job in order to find a way to get to it. Let's take Rainbow Ride for an example. It's not a fully constructed world with like ceilings and tunnels and different secrets. It's kind of just a whole bunch of platforms thrown in the middle of the sky, and you can ride magic carpets in order to get to different segments of that world. And that could be a similar way that Mario Maker 3D works, where you just kind of place things all over the place and find different ways and different routes in order to reach a star, but the only difference is you're in a 3D environment. That shouldn't be too difficult to be able to place different objects all the way around. The only thing Nintendo really has to work on is how the camera controls and how the character moves, and it'd probably just be pulled exactly from Super Mario 64. You obviously have different types of terrain blocks, and you can also put down obstacles, and that's pretty much it. You have swinging platform pendulums, you also have fire flame shooters, and also just slap down some enemies. And really, Mario 64 begins to look a lot more realistic for a Mario Maker 3D game. Also, the thing with a Mario 64 3D Mario Maker theme is that there are many options to reach a star. You can already say that in Mario Maker now, but there's really only one or two options when you're in a 2D platform space. But with a 3D Mario Maker game, you can pretty much find any type of way to reach a star, whether it's trip a wall, jump off a wall, or do a backflip, or just find a different route. And there could be multiple different routes in order to reach your destination, which makes for endless amounts of gameplay. Here we go! Now, my other option is you could have something more along the lines of Super Mario 3D World, which, if you've ever played 3D World, it's more of a 2D 3D game, which means you're consistently going to the right or going up, and that's about it. The camera stays the same area, and it doesn't really follow the characters from behind, which probably is a lot easier to control with a Maker game. All you have to do is put down 3D objects along the grid going to the right, and you're pretty much done. It's already kind of in the Mario Maker style as you're going to the right, and there's also a flagpole at the end, but the only difference is you can now put down 3D objects and you can run around in a small 3D space as you move to the right. Also, most, if not all, of the enemies from 3D World have been replicated in Mario Maker at least once, and they're kind of basic Mario enemies, which shouldn't be too hard to implement within the Mario Maker programming. Now, of course, you'll probably not be able to make levels the same way Nintendo did with some open plain areas, but for the most part, you could just have some cool little 3D segments where you can run around in a small area, moving to the right or moving upward, the same way you do in the original Mario Maker. And if they had to have a third theme, the last one I obviously could think of was Super Mario Galaxy. Now, this one might be the hardest because you would have to implement gravity mechanics, which I don't know if Nintendo can even do that for other people. But Mario Galaxy, believe it or not, has a lot of 2D sections where you're going through an underground cave or messing with different gravity effects. And lots of this is shown within the Bowser Castle levels. And I think it'd be really interesting to have something like this. Now, personally, I think Mario Galaxy should probably translate to a 2D Mario Maker theme, which I think would be really cool just to have a 2D Mario with that spin and also lots of gravity mechanics, which we talked about multiple times in the past and probably even more in the future. But if they had to make it a 3D game, I think it'd be cool to have little planetoids that you can jump on, but like I said, Nintendo would have to make sure that they have that gravity mechanic and make sure it works, or it would be a buggy mess, especially when you're playing other people's crazy levels. But I can't help but to look into the future and to see what Nintendo would want to do with the next Mario Maker game. And yes, they could just have a whole bunch of new enemies and of course new mechanics, and that can keep going on for times and times and times again. But it's never going to completely change until Nintendo decides to do something completely outlandish and crazy with Mario Maker again. It's just going to keep feeling like a port of the first game with some additional content. And I think the only way Nintendo can make Mario Maker feel as fresh as it did originally is to have it in 3D. Either way, Mario Maker is going to sell whatever they do, but I think a 3D Mario Maker, or at least one 3D theme to explore and experiment with it, could be very beneficial for Nintendo. 3D Mario games give players options. It gives them different paths and different routes that they can explore with and find their own way to the goal. And lots of the time, 2D games can't provide that. And you also stack that with the fact that people are making these levels, the endless possibilities continue to grow ever so much. And I would love to see Mario Maker officially go to 3D. But like always, I love to hear from you guys. I know lots of you guys feel like this would never happen, but there's still a possibility for a very basic version of a 3D or 2.5D Mario game coming in the future in the form of Mario Maker 3. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. What do you think the themes will be, and how do you think this game will play out? And also, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure that you leave a like and subscribe. It helps so much, and I appreciate you guys that do so. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.